dude, let me tell you, I just did this entire thing. This is the third time, but I'm kind of honing my skills down, so I really felt a little bit sick to my stomach that I just threw away that what I hope is clear and concise. But that's okay, because as one of my instructors in martial arts told me once when I was young, I'm not going to name him, but he said he actually had this sign on his wall, and he would tell you this all the time. Practice does not make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. So that said, when I realized I was in such horror, I should have taken a drink because I'd already been talking and reading for about 15 minutes, so pardon me. While I say pardon me, I'm going to look something up right here and just let you know that our news today, as you can see, I'm wearing my mock mohawk and my news tie, so that must mean it's time to cover something that doesn't have to do with music or jokes, and we might work a little joke into it or a little music here and there, but we're going to try to stay on topic here, which is this Washington Times article that I found linked in Drudge. And the link said the same thing that the headline says here. Ads in 24 cities offer protesters up to $2,500, $2,500 to my British friends, to agitate at Trump inaugural. Demand protest. Ads running seek operatives to send strong message at presidential inauguration. My. It looks like something fishy and funny is going on here. What could it be? Is it possible that someone may be doing something a little funny? Well, let's start at the byline right here. This is by Miss Richardson at the Washington Times, Tuesday, January 17th, 2017. Donald Trump may have a point about paid protesters, job ads running in more than 20 cities offer $2,500 per month for agitators to demonstrate at this week's presidential inauguration event. Demand protest, a San Francisco company that bills itself as the largest private grassroots support organization in the United States, posted identical ads January 12th in multiple cities on Backpage.com seeking operatives, in quotation marks if you're only listening while you clean your house, work on someone's car, or make $1 for your family's sake. Quote, get paid fighting against Trump, says the ad. We pay people already politically motivated to fight for the things they believe. You were going to take action anyway, so why not do it so with us? The ad continues. We are currently seeking operatives to help send a strong message at upcoming inauguration protests. That statement is a complete, blatant assumption that there will be inauguration protests. The job offers a monthly retainer of $2,500 plus, quote, our standard per event pay of $50 an hour. Now you're talking the ogre's language, getting closer to it anyway. As long as you participate in at least 6 events a year, as well as health, vision, and dental insurance for full-time operatives. That sounds so Orwellian and so low men, so CIA, so MI6 that it's a little shaking. Continuing, Mr. Trump has complained about paid actors. Now listen, they're going to do something here to us before I continue. They're going to do a little bait and switch. We have a piece of what I would consider to be plausible news. I'm not going to say right at the moment that this is absolute something, someone is doing this absolutely and has been doing it. Because this is an article with someone that put ads in newspapers and has a website. Well, I've seen the Yes Men take over the world. If you haven't watched their movies, they're hilarious. I've seen the Reburger, and I've seen the Dow Chemical apologizing to Bhopal for the Union Carbide horror that took place in Bhopal, and they actually got, if I remember correctly, he called himself Erastus Hand, and he got himself on the BBC. And no, that wasn't real. It wasn't real, but it drew attention to real things. So even, I'll say right now, I'm not taking this as face value gospel truth. With due respect, I don't take the hard bastard, the Britisher, anybody I could name, Coffee with Tim Black, Tommy Sotomayor, Steven Crowder, that some black guy, that guy T. I don't take any of these people at their word. Frankly, it gets a little monotonous, fact-checking them over and over again and finding out that if there is anything that is not completely 100% factual in anything that they say, that it is usually a typo, and it can be explained simply that way. So look for this bait and switch right here. I'm not saying again. I hope this is all coming out clear. I'm not going to reiterate. So look for this bait and switch right here. Mr. Trump has complained about paid activists both before and after the 2016 presidential campaign. But if anti-Trump advocacy groups are juicing their crowds with hired help, nobody's admitting it. Please keep that in your head right there. Nobody's admitting it. There's simply no credible evidence that the opposition to Trump is spurred by anything other than legitimate concern about what his presidency might entail, said a November 17th column in the Washington Compost, the I Can't Fix It. Where does the money go from George Soros, Ted Turner, Bill and Melinda Gates? It doesn't go where they tell you, not all of it. Some of it goes to foment riots in class-conscious riots in things such as Occupy Wall Street. And before you get all self-righteous, Occupy Wall Street, and start saying, but he's mentioning us, also the Tea Party. And, that reminds me, you right-wingers, at least the left-wingers, if they're gay and homosexual and a guy, and they got the cojones to come out and say, I'm gay. Look at me, I'm gay. Treat me like a human being. You mincing right-wing Tea Partiers, some of you like the, here I come again now, baby, like a dog in heat. And tell us me by the hammer now, baby. And you probably... Sorry about that. Everybody might recognize that. Some people may not. But the person singing that is not the person playing the guitar. And you know what, Mr. Nugent? If you're not, tinkly-dinkly, like a whatever, I have my sincerest apologies. If you are, just admit it. All the whole teetotal thing, and I was addicted to poo nanny. You get a little old, dude. And what about your wife? Sometimes you make me sick, Ted. And I'm going to call it out on the right and the left. Thank you for playing a little bit of music at Donald Trump's freaking thing. All right, back on topic. Simply no credible evidence. I hope you're holding this on the hook in your head. Mr. Trump complained about it, but, okay, there's nobody admitting to it. Quote, there's no credible evidence that the opposition with Trump is spurred by anything, says the Compost. PolitiFact reported that a widely shared November 11th article claiming an anti-Trump protester was paid $3,500 was fake news created by Paul Horner, who runs a number of phony news sites. Well, just for your amusement and perusal, I looked up Mr. Horner. And, he makes things up. He's what I would call a satirist. He's satirical. He's doing funny things to entertain and to make you question life. But remember what Andy Warhol said. Life imitates art, or does art imitate life? Sometimes it can be both. And I don't know. Let me give you this right here. So this is from November 11th, 2016 by Jimmy Rustling at ABC News. It says, Donald Trump protester speaks out. I was paid $3,500 to protest Trump rally. Phoenix, Arizona. For a month now, rumors have circulated on the internet that individuals are being paid to protest at rallies held by presidential hopeful Donald Trump. Today, a man from Trump's rally in Fountain Hills, Arizona, back in March, has come forward to say that he was paid to protest the event. I was given $3,500 to protest Donald Trump rally in Fountain Hills, said 37-year-old Paul Horner. So anyway, as soon as you got to hear that, you know that he trolled the heck out of ABC News. And then, sure enough, the same date, it comes out. I'm sorry, I didn't go to the correct one. The same date on PolitiFact, it said, no, someone wasn't paid. it was fake news. It was this guy. And then if you look a little bit deeper into it, this is from the Washington Compost by Caitlin Dewey. If you want me to say your name right, get an easier name to say, Caitlin. Oh man, don't tell me I opened something up that's got something planned. That just, you know, that happens from time to time. I'm going to do my best at this point to shut it off. There we go. All right, so where are we at? So PolitiFact, we're fast forwarding now. Nope, I didn't. I closed that window. I closed that window, folks. Let me see if I can just pop it right back up. Boom, 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 boom. I'll just have to tell you this right now. Yes, here we go. So now this is the Washington Compost pile. Again, Caitlin Dewey, November 17th, 2016. And she's saying, Facebook, fake news writer, I think Donald Trump is in the White House because of me. So now, November 17th, 2016, they're saying that this is just so crazy. I'm telling you, folks, this guy is trolling them yet again. And they're trying to point to this and say, well, the fake news got him there. This guy's still trolling you. You're still on the line. He's not going to let you off the hook. Also, I think we covered enough about Mr. Horner. If you care to, check him out some more. I probably won't leave any links, but his name is Paul, P-A-U-L, Horner, H-O-R-N-E-R. And he's a funny guy. If you check into him, it's good for a laugh, I guarantee you. So here we go. Now we've gotten a hook on our head in the back of our mind here. I've asked you to remember that it says Trump's complained about it, but nobody's admitting to it. Simply no credible evidence. Okay? Now we get down here. If the demand protest ads are ruses, however, somebody's gone to a great deal of trouble to sell the scam. The classifieds are running in at least 24 cities, including Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, Dallas, and Houston. And the company the company operates a slick website that includes contact information. A San Francisco phone number listed on the website was answered with a voicemail message identifying the company by name. A request for a comment left Monday evening was not immediately returned. The website, which says that the company has provided 1,817 operatives for 48 campaigns, promises deniability, assuring clients that we can ensure that all actions will appear genuine to the media and the public observers. We are strategists mobilizing millennials across the globe with seeded audience and desirable messages, says the website. With absolute discretion a top priority, our operatives create convincing scenes that become the building blocks of massive movements. When you need the appearance of outrage, we are able to deliver it at a scale while keeping your reputation intact. If this turns out to be fake, I have this on my notes. It's down. I'm going to keep my eye on this. I'll be the first one to come out and say, well, this was fake, but it is happening. Anyone that thinks that this isn't happening, you're crazy. Why is it that it's okay? G-Dub was a piece of crap. I loved him because he was a funny little elf. He's a funny little dwarf, and he talked kind of funny like that right there, and the rest of his family didn't have that kind of accent. He just kind of, well, they misunderestimated me again. And you know, the old thing where it was like, don't fool me once, shame on me, and fool me twice, and then, you know, man, you fool me once, you can't get fooled again. That was planned. It's planned ignorance to make him feel he won. And he was protested. Obama won. He wasn't protested. I didn't see any of this stuff going on, and I watched that very carefully. I seen the press on it as if it was happening, but I didn't see anything. It's beyond unfair because this is racial and class and societal fomentation on a scale that, to me, come on, people, don't be fooled by this. Love your brothers and sisters. It don't matter what, you know, come on, man. It really don't matter. If they're gay and you're not gay and you're a dude, they might ask you to see if you're closeted or something, but in my experience, you're only going to get asked once. And you can still be friends with that person. They don't give a crap. They might be like, well, if they ask you, because this has happened to me, and if they ask you, I sell soap for a living, so I run into all kinds of people. I'm looking at you, Anthony, from Pinehurst. But anyway, hey, I found that even if, all you gotta do is say no. And they say, oh, no problem, man. This hate is propagated by the fear-porn mongers. They want us to hate one another. This is happening right now, whether this article is 100% sure or not. So here's some more of this this non-existent evidence right here. This is evidence. Whether they like to, they started out by saying there was none, but now they give it to you. They're mobilizing millennials across the globe, okay? More than 100 left-wing groups led by organizations such as Occupy Inauguration and the Disrupt J20 Coalition are calling for Trump foes to participate in inauguration protest being organized in Washington, D.C. in all 50 states. The demonstrations are aimed at disrupting Friday's inauguration ceremony and parade, as well as balls and festivals pegged to the celebration. Aren't we all Americans here? Just grow up. Grow up. You lost. Move on. Spend the money some other way. If you're so concerned with people like you say you are, help out the poor whites in Appalachia. Help out the poor blacks in Chicago getting killed because of your insane gun control policies. Let them protect themselves. Use that money to put freedom back in people's hands. Don't make more slaves. In conclusion, a search by the Washington Times showed that Backpage.com ads also ran in Austin, Charlotte, Colorado Springs, Columbus, Denver, Detroit, El Paso, Fort Worth, Jacksonville, Oakland, Oklahoma City, Omaha, Philadelphia, Phoenix, San Diego, San Francisco, Seattle, Tulsa, and Washington, D.C. Just some of the cities. That's the end of the article. That's just some of the cities. Now, if you let me explain. No, there's no time to explain. Allow me to sum up. Go ahead, Nego Montoya, tell them all about it. We are bombarded on all sides by ads, by mainstream media, by my Mrs. Ogre works and helps people to breathe, and in her line of work she goes in and helps these people breathe, and inevitably they have Fox News and NBC and ABC and CBS and CNN and MTV News and you name it, and it's all on, and it's pumping garbage and nonsense into their head at a rate of 90 to nothing. It's flying in. I'm asking you to look at everything you see critically. Even though I look at this article and I think what I think when I read everything I read, I'm very skeptical. I think the same thing I think when I watch anything that I watch. I'm very skeptical. I don't want someone to say, I say, therefore. I want I say, therefore, here is a link to my citation. Here is the book I read that gives me this idea. Instead of ranting and raving about that forever today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask my subscribers and the ones that have hung in here this long through this video right here today to do something special for themselves. Go pick up an old book. Go get Alexander Dumas. Dust off that cover in the library because nobody's probably read The Count of Monte Cristo in a long, long time. Go grab Herman Melville. It doesn't have to be Moby Dick. You can read White Coat, or you could read Taipei, or you could even read the Bowery Boys and see how homosexuality may have been addressed in the early 1800s, the first half of the 1800s. Go pick up Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Heck, go pick up Dante's Inferno. Read it. Go pick up some Friedrich Nietzsche if you want to get really far out there. You don't have to believe it. I myself believe in a loving God that looks down on me. You probably think that's crazy. I don't agree with everything that you believe either. But I'll tell you this much. Whether I agree with it or not, whether I like what you're saying or not, I will defend to the last breath your right to say it. And your right to say it in any way that you would like. There are no restrictions on this for me. I could use any kind of language that I decided to use. In the future, you may hear things come out of my mouth that just shock you, and you say, I can't believe that the ogre said that. Please, if I say something to you, believe it. There's a reason. With that warning and that pledge all wrapped up in one, I'm going to leave you with this. Be good to your loved ones. Be kind to your friends. Be quick to say you're sorry. Be even quicker to accept an apology, no matter how big that thing your loved one seems to be, what they've done. Because in the end, at a moment you think not, your loved one will depart from you.